and this is one where I'm going to ask Dr. Colfax to come up. I have been concerned because I have been out in the community advocating for the sales tax based upon the information that we had put up on our website over a month ago that said we were going to be facing $307 million per year in projected losses of health services by 28-29. And this is one of those things where we were hearing a lot from Cocoa Tax, and they were saying, hey, it's cumulative up to a certain point. It's not ongoing. And so as I listened to those, as I went back and looked at our December presentation and over the weekend reached out to Dr. Colfax for clarification, in fact, Cocoa Tax is correct on this point, and we have been wrong with what we have had on the website. And I'm deeply concerned because as I've spoken to other elected officials, even members of our legislative delegation, I've said, we absolutely need this because we are looking at this $307 million ongoing deficit. So I asked Grant, or Dr. Colfax, to give us the true figures. And again, health has been very consistent. Everything that they provided us back in December was very consistent. Really, I think we're looking at closer to a little bit over 500 million cumulative loss by the end of the sales tax because of H.R. 1. There are a lot of other very, very significant hits that we are taking, but they're not related to H.R. 1. And so I asked him if he could give us this accurate information before we vote, because I am truly concerned that we have been unintentionally misrepresenting the full extent of the hit we are taking because of H.R. 1, and I'm very uncomfortable moving forward. I'm really advocating that we slow this process down. While I realize it would not allow us to put it on the June primary ballot, I think we need to take a step back to ensure that we are putting accurate information out there. So Dr. Colfax, if you could...
And Chair, if I can add, because there's some things you said that I want to comment on after.
Let her finish, and then I'll let you...
About what the impacts are.
Yep, but let her finish, and then I'll let you...
Yeah, so really, I asked Dr. Colfax to bring us up to speed and so that we really could have the true picture of what we are facing. It's a grim picture. It's just not the picture that we have been conveying via our website, and I cannot tell you how many people I've been sending to that website. And when I've been speaking to people, I've been saying, look at this, $307 million a year when we reach that point, and that is inaccurate. So please go ahead.
Some of this is H.R. 1.
Some of this is just the fact that we are facing some very significant expenses with regard to everything from retrofitting the hospital to potential salary increases to just the lack of funding. We were sort of in this trajectory. H.R. 1 has added to it, but it's helpful to see the breakdown of the two. And again, I'm feeling frustrated, not because of anything you did. You didn't change your narrative, but the way it was interpreted by the Board of Supervisors, including how we put it even in the resolution today, that we have misrepresented. While it's a very similar amount that we're going to get to, we haven't been accurate in how we've been disclosing it. So that's where my big concern is. So thank you for bringing this forward, because I think it is important. And I asked Dr. Colfax, show us where we will be in 5 years if the tax were to move forward. Obviously we are going to be in some significant world of hurt, so to speak, with it, but it's just not all attributable to H.R. 1. So thank you.
Madam Chair, before the board goes on, if I could just interject.
This particular.
Also, there's a reason we have a AAA credit rating, bond rating in this county, because we have been prudent on investing. And if they're, to some extent, in the early years of the rollout of the negative impacts of H.R. 1, we have some extra dollars. This is a temporary tax, and we're going to invest those dollars to spend them beyond the 5-year period. That's what agencies with the AAA bond rating do. So we understand how to manage money. The credit rating agencies have acknowledged that. Assuming there is a surplus across the county, and that is very unclear. And I think the reality here, and I want to be really direct. I saw the email that came in and read it. And I understand that there are people with different values than us who are going to advocate for not taking all the steps needed to ensure people remain covered. We just have different values, unfortunately. I know we're going to hear later.
Okay. I am not questioning at all the fact that we are facing a fiscal crisis in our county health care, human services. I have been all in for trying to find a solution by putting this matter before voters. And John, I appreciate all of your efforts to get it on the ballot because it has been really a rushed process to try to figure out all of the hoops that need to be jumped through. However, I am still going to advocate for slowing this process down, working toward a future sales tax measure that involves both collaboration and more accurate information. Unfortunately, my past support of this measure was really based upon an imperfect interpretation of the facts, and that's the best I can say. When we first posted the information on the website at the end of January, I immediately sent an email saying, hey, I thought this was cumulative rather than ongoing. I sort of got a response back, no, it's ongoing, and this wasn't from the health department. It just was the information I was given, so I continued representing that we really did believe this was going to be the $307 million annual cost to us. To me, I believe it's irresponsible to move forward today. Perhaps we could come back with a lower tax that was more aligned to what we think our HR 1 losses are truly going to be. We do have time to consider a future tax, and when I'm saying that, I recognize other measures will be on the ballot in years to come, but our greatest hit is also in years to come. We still need to have the issue of raising the sales tax cap resolved by the legislature. And I know, John, you've been working on that, but I've found great frustration in the last week and a half learning that much of our Contra Costa delegation did not even know we were doing this. And they have been scrambling to caucus to figure out how can they support us while at the same time feeling frustrated because they're already supporting other things on the ballot, like a community college bond measure that may be coming forward. And so I feel like we need more time to work with our delegation to get this tax cap resolved and also to work with our fellow elected officials. Mayors of our cities are upset. They don't understand why when we have Measure X, we're rushing to put another 0.65 sales tax on the ballot, and I feel like we need to be doing a little more collaboration. It's being able to rely on accurate information. The fact that we had to change the resolution today, that we have posted incorrect information on the website is very disconcerting. I want us to continue to quantify the losses. To me, it's just basic good government, crossing our T's, dotting our I's, before we put forward a tax measure that will yield potentially $750 million, despite showing that even at the end of the sales tax, our HR 1 loss will be closer to $500 million. Again, not discounting the fact that we have other costs that are going to be very substantial that we could also use this money on. But what we were putting forth originally was, let's address the hits from the federal government, the HR 1, and that was my intent. So I will not be supporting us moving forward. And I'm sorry because I wanted to see this happen, but I am frustrated that we're in the situation we are in because I cannot, in good conscience, put this forward to voters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you, Supervisor Anderson, for bringing forward and bringing to light, what we're learning. I think that all of us want to do something that is with a lot of transparency and all of that. And so I appreciate you bringing that information and clarity. And I know staff also appreciates that because we all want to do the right thing. I think it was Supervisor Carlson talked about the fact that it'll take a while, even if we got this to pass in June, to actually start collecting money that would help us to cover this large issue that we are.
Or we do roll call, I don't know, however you want to do it. I'm going to have, well.